Hi, and welcome to this next video on OCR A-Level Biology. We're on Module 4.1, which is about communicable diseases. And in this video, we're going to be looking at, briefly, an overview of the human immune system. So in the last video, we looked at some examples of different pathogens. Remember, pathogens are organisms that cause disease. We looked at the various types of pathogens. So we have bacteria, viruses, fungi, and protists. We looked at some examples of diseases caused by these pathogens, and we looked at ways in which we can treat these different pathogens. We also looked at ways in which pathogens can be transmitted. Remember, these are communicable diseases, which means these diseases can spread from person to person. We looked at direct contact, exchange of fluid, contamination, airborne, and vector. And we gave examples of each of these. Now we're going to look at the human immune system. So we're going to look first at the human immune system, and we'll come back to plant defenses against pathogens. So the human immune system can be divided into both the innate and the adaptive immune system. The innate is non-specific, and it consists of physical and chemical barriers and cells within the innate immune system. Barriers include skin, mucous membranes, hydrochloric acid in the stomach, and lysozyme, which is an enzyme found in sweat and tears. The cells involved in the innate immune system include macrophages, also known as monocytes, neutrophils, and mast cells. The adaptive immune system, is very specific, and it's specific to that particular pathogen because it's specific to a single antigen, and an antigen is a molecule that can be found on the pathogen. Each individual type of pathogen has its own unique antigen. For example, the flu virus has flu antigens. COVID-19, the coronavirus that causes COVID-19, has certain antigens unique to COVID-19. Mycobacterium tuberculosis has antigens specific to that bacteria which causes tuberculosis. And the adaptive immune system targets those antigens. They are made up of the B cells, and these B cells produce antibodies, which we'll come to later on in the module. We also have T cells, which can be split into cytotoxic T cells or T helper cells, which we'll come to in future videos. This video is just an overview of the immune system. So the immune system to make cells of the immune system, it all starts within the bone marrow. So the bone marrow is where all immune cells are made. So where all blood cells, in fact, are made within the bone marrow. So, and it starts with something called a hematopoietic stem cell, or HSC for short. This hematopoietic stem cell can then either differentiate and become one of two different types of cells. Firstly, it can either become a lymphoid progenitor cell, which I will write over here. Progenitor. cell, or it will become a myeloid progenitor cell. The lymphoid progenitor cells, we'll come back to the myeloid progenitor cells, but the lymphoid progenitor cells can further differentiate into one of three different types. Well, technically four, but one of three main types. We have here the B cells, the T cells. Actually, let me do that in a different color. The T cells and the NK or NK cells, also otherwise known as natural killer cells. The lymphoid progenitor cells can also, but not always, differentiate into another type of cell called dendritic cells. In fact, the myeloid progenitor cell can also differentiate into dendritic cells as well. But now moving on to myeloid specifically, now we're going to look at the myeloid. So myeloid progenitor cells can develop into one of many different types of cell. First up, we have the myeloblast. I think it's called myeloblast. I don't know how you spell it. And why am I writing in that color? I'm supposed to be writing it in black. Myeloblast. Or it can differentiate into, I actually have a note here, into an MEP. Into an MEP cell. MEP cell. And I do not need to make this into, I need to make this into black. So, or it can develop into an MEP. The MEP can further develop into either an erythrocyte. I do not want blue. I need a different color than blue. I made the same mistake so many times already. Anyway, into a, let's keep it black because these ones aren't very important. Erythrocyte, or it can develop into platelets, into megakaryocytes which can form platelets. The myeloblast, on the other hand, can either develop into one of few different types of granulocytes. The first one being eosinophils, the second one being basophils, oh, I've run out of colors. Oh no, I haven't. Oh yes, I have. Okay. The third one being neutrophils, and the last one being monocytes. Which can further develop into macrophages. So this is how the different cells of the immune system come together or are formed within the bone marrow. Remember, this happens in the bone marrow for most of these cells. T cells is a little bit different, because these T cells actually travel. These T cells, as we'll see later, these travel to the thymus gland. Travel to thymus to the thymus. So here we have an overview of the immune system and the different cells within the immune system. Now, the ones you really need to know are, if I can find my highlighter, it's B, okay, are the B cells, the T cells from the lymphoids, from the lymphoid or the specific immune system, the neutrophils, and the macrophages slash monocytes from the innate immune system. All the others you will learn about in university level. And you also need to know about erythrocytes in module 3 and platelets maybe as well. The eosinophils, basophils, natural killer cells, and dendritic cells you don't need to know about for A level at the moment, because you'll learn about them when you study immunology in university, if you go on to study immunology in university. But these are the main cells that we will focus on at A level. Okay, so I think that's it. So I know this was quite a short video, but just to give you an overview of what we're going to be covering about the immune system in these next few videos within this module. Anyways, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.